Coach, you got that first conference home win out of the way, and obviously too bad for you guys. It took this long, but you guys got a winning streak. You guys are putting out some wins, especially to this late in the season. It's kind of the results that you want to see.
Absolutely, that's what I know our fans have become accustomed to, and certainly it's where our expectations are at. We're getting healthy. That's the biggest difference, I think. Jaquan Gardner got hurt in Game 3, and really has been less than 100%. Really, I think up until Saturday, and you saw him back to full speed, and could say the same about a John Todd and Marjani Ellison and some of these others that we've had. So offensively back at full speed. Defensively, we made some changes. Just been very disappointed with our inability defense to make plays in certain situations. So we moved James Clark from linebacker back to safety, started the true freshman Davian Johnson moving from safety over to corner, and he gets a huge interception on the first play of the game. And just overall, our defense played with the spark that we've seen and need from a defense, and holding any opponent to 140 yards and just 40 yards rushing is a good night's work. And so it was a win where offense, defense, and the kicking game all contributed. We get a block punt early, had some nice returns as well. So very, very pleased with Saturday.
Last year at this time, obviously vying for the GNAC championship, and this year, not the case. But this late in the season, you said you made some lineup changes. From a coaching stance, does it kind of change where you're looking to make those changes to finish strong, but also toward next season, or is it still kind of? I mean, you still obviously want to win the game, but do you coach it differently?
No, it's about this year, and it'd be doing a disservice to our players. We've got 12 seniors that we'll recognize this Saturday. Playing their last game in the Redwood Bowl, and just have 2 weeks left in their football career, a career that for many of them started when they're 8, 9, 10 years old. So it's about this team, this season, and finishing out strong. I've been very, very pleased and impressed with our players the last 2 weeks. We've had our best practices of the season the last 2 weeks. They've come out, the weather's turning a little bit, there's been some rain and such, but they've come out with a great attitude, ready to work. I expect the same this week, certainly as we prepare for Western State. So our focus is entirely on continue. We'll never stop working until the final gun goes off up in Ellensburg in 2 weeks. That's just, I think, how coaches are wired a little bit. So we'll do all we can to keep moving forward. We got our 5th win on Saturday, and we hope to get our 6th this Saturday against, like I said, a very good team from the Rocky Mountain Conference.
Health, obviously, a big thing, but if you guys can continue, strong, get some wins in the season, could the Western Oregon game could be kind of the turning point, the reason that, or for momentum the rest of the year?
I said it last week after that game. That was a big win for us to beat a team that had beaten the first time around, to go up to a place that has historically been a very difficult place to win at, and you're playing a good football team in Western Oregon always. That was a big win, and I think we gained great confidence because of that win. I think that confidence showed in our play on Saturday, and I would hope and I do believe that it will continue throughout our final 2 weeks.
Talk about this week's opponent, Western State, non-conference game, but coming in here, I'm sure that the final home games for the seniors, everybody else, you want to finish up with their win.
We do. Senior Day is always a very, very special day. We have 12 seniors, a smaller group compared to, say, last year, only 3 of whom have been here their entire career. The other 9 transferred in at some point. But it's always a special day, always an emotional day. We'll have all their families on the field prior to the game, recognize each individually and such. So it's important that we send them off right. Yeah, Western State, they're currently 6-3, a very good football team. They've got the nation's leading rusher in the backfield. He's run for just under 1,500 yards already this year, was an All-American last year as well. So I think our fans have a really unique opportunity on Saturday to watch maybe the 2 best running backs in all of Division II on the same field, with the running back that Western State has and our own Jaquan Gardner. Again, you're going to see 2 very, very talented players who have run for a lot of yards over the last 2 years. And so that's going to be a great matchup to see both of those.
Knowing that you have a pretty good running back facing for your guys' defense, do you load the box? What do you do to kind of stop the running game?
Well, obviously, that's what they want to do, they being Western State, so our job is to do our best to try and stop and take away. Again, he's going to get his yards. What you do is you want to contain him. You want to prevent the big play. Okay, and the best way to do that is you try to keep him from really getting started. But he against Colorado Mines, which is a top 25 team right now, the one team that defeated Azusa Pacific earlier this year, he ran for over 300 yards. I think it was 316 yards, where Western State beat Colorado Mines. So they're a good football team with a very talented player at the running back position. They just play hard watching them on tape, but it's kind of fun in a conference like ours where you play each other twice. It's fun to have a situation where you're playing someone from outside the conference, later in the year, where you can really look at it of what they've done against other competition and set an entirely new game plan. So again, we're hard at work to do that. But no, this will be a good test for us. Again, another team. We played Chadron State from the Rocky Mountain Conference earlier in the season. Here's another team now in Western State. We'll return the game to Western next year, traveling to Gunnison, Colorado. But we're excited to host them, excited to see a team from another conference come to the Redwood Bowl. That doesn't happen every year, certainly. And like I said, it's going to be a great matchup of two good football teams, one with 6 wins in Western State, and we'll be looking for our 6th.
You're the head coach, but also this year, Dr. Smith. What's the status of some of the banged up players right now? I know you talked about Gardner, but with others, what is their status set for Saturday?
Well, start with Chase Crevichet. Obviously, he's out for the season. He's having surgery this week, and so we hope once the surgery is completed, we can start him on his rehab. Excuse me, his rehab and recovery, and have him back for next year, which is a bonus. He was a senior, so the losses this year, the bonus is we get him back. Other than that, we're getting healthy. Daniel Castro missed last week with a PCL knee injury. He'll be wearing a brace this week, and his playing time will be dictated by how well he adapts to that brace. Certainly, we've got other guys. It's week 10 for us, and 10 straight games, 10 straight weeks. It wears on everybody, and so we got guys that are beat up, certainly. But like I said, the good thing is we're getting healthy. We've got Jaquan Gardner back, and the receiver position seems to be stabilized. Sage Burmeister was able to get through last week's game, where he wasn't able to finish the Western Oregon game before that. So Josh Hinson went out with a shoulder injury early in the game, but he was able to come back. So yeah, we're 10 weeks into it. I think we're as good as you can hope to be.
Real quick, you talked about Chase. Can you say the injury, and then also how much you've missed to him, and difference not having him on the field?
Well, it's a hip injury, and I don't know all the specifics. Dr. Smith didn't attend that class, but no, his loss has been significant. He's really such an important part of our offense. You think about his last game against Western Oregon, he caught 12 or 13 balls, I think it was. What a gutty performance. And we knew at that time that potentially would be his last game. As it turned out, it was. But he's a team captain. He's a 3-year team captain for us. Just an incredibly important asset, not just as a player, but the type of leadership he brings week in, week out. When he speaks, the entire team listens to that. So, like I said, very disappointing that we did not, we're not able to have him for this year. But it's also exciting to know that we can add him after a significant rehab. But we can add him to next year's team that will also have Robert Weber, Jaquan Gardner, Alex Kappa, Josh Hansen, so many of these guys that are juniors now in their senior year. So.
And Chase was hurt the first week of this.
He actually hurt himself over the summer.
Okay.
It was over the summer in workouts, and that he felt something first in his hip, and that played weeks 1 and 2, had to sit out week 3, then came back and played 4, and that ended up being his last game. And with 11 games on the schedule, because he played less than 3 full, that he qualifies for a medical redshirt, which still has to be submitted and approved by the conference. But I think it's pretty clear that should happen as we expect. So we'll get him back. There's going to be a 5 to 6 month rehab from the surgery that he's having this week.